share one of my favorite recipes that I use a lot for cook once and eat twice. So I want to show you the base for it. It's a shredded chicken tacos. Is like a salsa style chicken. Super easy. I'm doing it in my Instant Pot today, but a lot of times I'll do it in my crock pot before my crock pot died. I still haven't got another one. But super easy. We like to use it for tacos, and I also like to use it for what I'm making tonight for supper, which is like sour cream chicken enchilada casserole. So I'm going to show you what all it's got in it. It's super easy, and it's a no-brainer. You just dump everything in and go off, and it cooks. So we're going to start with chicken breast. So I'm going to do 3 chicken breasts. And I did get the big club pack from HEB today, and I'll freeze the other half for later. So put the chicken breast in there, and I need a dish towel. So that, and then 2 packages of taco seasoning, and you'll just dump them right on top. And I will put a recipe post on the blog so you can go back later and read it. And if you don't like really strong spicy flavors, just use 1 package, but I like a lot of flavor. Then I'm gonna put almost the whole jar, not quite. If I were doing the 4th chicken breast instead of just 3, I would put the entire jar, but I'm only going to put like maybe 2/3, and it's 16 ounces. You can use whatever brand you like. I just like the Pace the best so far. Well, maybe a little more than, I'll just go and put the whole thing in. Is that we measure garlic with our heart. You go until the spirit tells you to stop, which today I think it's going to be about that much. So maybe 2 heaping tablespoons of minced garlic. If you're not a garlic person, do less. And let's see. Next is going to be cilantro. And if you're not a cilantro person, I'm sorry. I love me some cilantro. My dad does not care for cilantro. I'm very thankful that I didn't inherit the gene that makes you think cilantro tastes like soap. Just chop the cilantro up roughly, stick it in there. You don't even have to chop it up. If you just want the flavor of the cilantro, but you don't want to deal with the actual cilantro, leave it in big pieces on the stems, cook it, and then just fish it out. That's really good if you have people in your family that don't like cilantro, because you can still get the benefits of it, but they won't see it and they won't know that it's in there, because for some people, if they see it and they know it's in there, then it's over. If you need to be sneaky, leave it whole and fish it out. It'll work. So that, the cilantro, and I didn't put a lot. Let's see if I can get my phone over here to show you. So this is what it looks like so far. See, there's not much. There's not much. I kept back the other half of the cilantro bunch to use in my Mexican rice that I'm going, my Mexican rice and my charro beans that I'm making to go along with this. And then next you're gonna need the juice of 2 limes. But if you don't have fresh limes, you can always just use like lime juice in a bottle. It'll work fine too. Whenever I've been in a pinch, I've used that. Fixing to find my paper cuts from yesterday. But it's a really quick, easy recipe, and it warms up really well later. So if you don't use it all, which this makes a pretty big batch, it makes 2 meals worth. So most of the time what I'll do is I'll make a big batch of this, and we'll have chicken tacos for supper. And then I'll go ahead and I'll put the casserole together and either put it in the freezer to pull out later, or we'll eat it like the next day, the next night, or like night after next, depending on what the week looks like. But it makes a lot, and you can do a lot with it. And this is a really good party food if you need to make something that will feed a lot of people for not very much money. This is a really good recipe. But that's it. That's all there is to it. And then you just either put it in your crock pot for 4.5 to 5 hours on high, or like 8 to 9 hours on low. If you're going to use an Instant Pot like me, then you'll just do the poultry setting. I'm going to do 25 minutes just so it'll be falling apart, and then that's all there is to it. That's it. So when it's done in a little while, I will take some pictures of it shredded and show you what it looks like. So anyway, if you needed some supper inspiration and you have all of these ingredients, which are pretty common, about the only thing you might not keep on hand is the cilantro and the fresh limes. But it's easy, and I'm going to walk away from it and get other things done. But I'll show you all what it looks like later. So I thought I would hop back on real quick and share my cilantro sour cream sauce recipe, because why not? I know some of y'all will probably ask for it. So I thought I would just go ahead and cut to the chase and do it. So I'm starting with half a cup of butter, and I'm fixing to add half a cup of flour to it. This is a double batch because I'm making 2 casseroles tonight. I will post the single batch in a recipe post on the blog, but the steps are the same no matter how much you make, but I am making a double batch. So when you look at the recipe and it's like, she used a lot more than that, that's why. So half a cup of butter, and then we're going to do a half a cup of flour. Basically what we're doing, we're just making a white sauce with flour and butter. And we're just going to let that cook down till it looks right. I don't really know the exact minutes. Like I said earlier, most of my cooking is just eyeballing it, and so if you've made gravy before, you know, if you know, you know. If not, I'll show you what it looks like, but it's just one of those things, after you've made it a couple times, you'll get the hang of it. And this is really easy. But I like to use a whisk. If I don't use my roux paddle, it'll work either way. You just want to make sure that it doesn't sit still too long in one place so that everything cooks evenly. The rest of this, you're going to need chicken broth, green chilies, sour cream, and cilantro. If you like cilantro. If you're not a cilantro person, like I said in the other video, I'm sorry, but you can make this recipe without cilantro. It doesn't affect it. This is what it's looking like right now. See how it's kind of getting lighter and changing colors. Gonna go just for a little bit longer. The main thing is you just want to cook the butter and the flour together enough to get rid of the raw flour taste. You don't want this to be a really dark gravy. You actually want it as light as you can get it. You just want to make sure that the flour doesn't taste raw, because you know how that tastes. And we're going for cilantro cream sauce, or sour cream sauce, not cookie dough. Raw flour is good in cookie dough, but not in gravy. Alright, so we're going to call that sufficient. And then you're going to, since I am making a double batch, I'm using an entire thing of chicken broth. If you're making a single batch, you'll just use half. And then just put it in, and it's going to start thickening up. I'm just going to whisk the chicken broth in. It'll be pretty thick pretty fast, but that's okay because we are going to add the sour cream to it in a little bit, and that'll help thin it out some. so it won't be super thick when you're trying to either put it on your enchiladas or layer it for your enchilada casserole. I have a recipe written down with actual measurements for this one, so hopefully that'll help. This one isn't so much of a, oh, just eyeball it recipe. It's actually got measurements, so that's good. So after you get your chicken broth added to it, you want to let it come back up and start bubbling, and then you're going to add in your sour cream, your green chilies, and if you want the cilantro finely chopped. If you want to add black pepper to it, you can. I don't think it needs it for me. And it gets enough, to me, it gets enough salt from the chicken broth. But as always, taste it and then make it your own. Tweak it. But it's a really, really simple, easy recipe. I guess I need. And then after it starts simmering and bubbling a little bit, that's when you'll add the sour cream. And like I said a minute ago, I am making a double batch. So in the recipe, it'll just say like 1 carton of sour cream. This is really easy and it freezes well. So if you make a casserole with the shredded chicken like I did in the last video, you can freeze it and it'll stay good probably for at least 3 months. But it warms up well. It doesn't have a weird consistency after you've thawed it and cooked it. You know me, I'm all about using my time in the kitchen as well as I can so I don't have to come back in and cook later. It's not that I don't enjoy cooking, because I do enjoy cooking. But if I could do more at one time and then have time freed up to do other stuff later, I'm going to do that. Alright, so we're finally getting thickened up about to the right consistency. It smells really good too. So basically, I guess what we've made is a chicken gravy. I mean, I'm sitting here thinking about it. It's basically a chicken gravy. And then we just add the sour cream and all the other good stuff to it. So we got that there. I'm going to add, this is a 16-ounce carton of sour cream. I'm going to add the whole thing and see, because honestly the last time I made this, I can't remember how much sour cream I put in it. The original recipe says 1 cup. So this should be enough for a double batch. But I seem like I remembered putting 2 of these last time. So I don't know. I'm going to taste it and see if it's right. I really think this is going to be enough for a double batch. So we'll find out in a minute. It looks like it's going to be enough. There we go, eyeballing it again. But I'll let you know. And just mix the sour cream in. And you're really not going to cook the sour cream, so it shouldn't separate too much. You're mostly just going to be dispersing it in. I'm going to call it good. The more I whisk, the better it looks. So then I'm going to add 2 cans of diced green chilies. And these are the mild ones. If I had medium or hot, I would only do 1 can. I love green chilies. Love green chilies. And if you're going to do cilantro, you add cilantro now. And then if you want to, you can just let it simmer for a little bit. It's finished because it is going to bake some in a little bit whenever you put your casserole together. But that's how I do my cilantro or sour cream enchilada sauce. We end up calling it cilantro cream sauce. But I'll show y'all what it looks like. It smells really good. And if you want to do the green chilies, but somebody in your family that you cook for has issues with textures, you could always put the green chilies in and then use like a stick blender to puree everything so that there's no evidence of the chunky chilies. So you can always use the stick blender to hide things. I'll show you what the sauce looks like. So it's so yummy. Oh, and then there's my chicken done. So perfect timing.